Meet Arisaka, who has just taken a teaching position at Mihama Academy. At first glance, it seems like a typical high school. But this institution serves a darker purpose. Training special agents for SWORD, Special Organization for Research and Development. Since arriving, Arisaka has found herself overwhelmed by guilt, to the point where she can't even make eye contact with others. While she goes through the motions of being a regular high school teacher, there's one crucial difference that sets her apart from her colleagues. Every student in her class is training to become an assassin. This knowledge weighs heavily on her mind, especially given the terrifying possibility that she might someday face an impossible choice, having to sacrifice someone to save another. What makes matters worse is her own inexperience with killing. As she stands before her class of future assassins, she can't shake the fear that they see right through her, judging her as weak because she's never taken a life. At Mihama Academy, an unusual sight catches Murasaki's attention: Toka out for a morning run. She can't help but tease her friend about this rare occurrence. When Murasaki suggests Toka is trying to set a good example for Gumi, Toka grows visibly uncomfortable and quickly changes the subject, asking about Murasaki's sister instead. Before Murasaki can answer, they are interrupted by Rena and Gumi racing past them in what appears to be an impromptu competition. Toka makes an offhand comment about Gumi being a sole loser, expressing her hope that Gumi and Rena will become close friends, a remark that earns her a swift kick from Murasaki. The scene shifts to a gathering where Haruto Aoi is addressing the students. When Arisaka arrives, he welcomes her to join the discussion, inviting her to stand beside him. Haruto turns to Arisaka with a challenging question: "What do you think is the strongest weapon?" Her response comes hesitantly. "Wisdom," she suggests, followed by the courage to never give up, an indomitable spirit. Her uncertainty shows in her voice as she second-guesses each answer. Noticing her growing discomfort, Haruto smoothly takes over the discussion. He shares a vital lesson with the students: no gun is truly unbreakable, and ammunition always has its limits. To their surprise, he introduces an unexpected weapon: a simple bamboo stick. When one student points out how easily bamboo breaks, another quickly counters that it's simple to replace. Haruto builds on this exchange, acknowledging that while the bamboo spear might be considered the weakest weapon, its true strength lies in what it represents: the ability to keep fighting no matter what. He explains how enemies often lose their composure when faced with an opponent who refuses to surrender. His conclusion echoes Arisaka's earlier words: the strongest weapon isn't physical at all, but rather an unbreakable spirit and the courage to never give up. This revelation catches the students off guard, challenging their assumption that guns represent the pinnacle of weaponry. Haruto assures them that one day, they'll understand the deeper meaning behind his words. In the principal's office, Arisaka stands reviewing documents, her attention fixed on one particular form. Her eyes dart between the attached photograph and Principal Sengoku Ichiru's face, making connections she can't ignore. The principal notices her lingering stare and prompts her to speak her mind. After a moment's hesitation, Arisaka voices the question that's been nagging at her. Could Sengoku Taiga, the new student, be the principal's daughter? They share the same surname after all. The question ignites immediate fury in Principal Ichiru's eyes. "Did you assume I was a married mother?" Principal Ichiru snaps, clearly offended. She clarifies the situation with sharp precision. Taiga is actually the eldest daughter of the Sengoku head family, which naturally means she qualifies for enrollment in a high-level course. When Arisaka questions why such a student would be placed in her class specifically, Nogami steps in to explain. Taiga insisted on it herself, and the family approved. Her tone grows serious as she continues, explaining that the Sengoku family members are known for being both haughty and uncooperative. The conversation takes a darker turn as they explain the harsh reality of Class A, where students fight regardless of age and weakness is not tolerated. Principal Ichiru and Nogami's final instructions to Arisaka are clear and uncompromising. Ensure Taiga experiences the true nature of the field over the next 3 months. The classroom buzzes with curiosity as Taiga introduces herself to her new classmates. Suddenly, Fukami breaks protocol, addressing her as Master Maki, drawing surprised looks from the others. When questioned about their connection, Fukami eagerly explains that Taiga is the prodigy who taught her the secrets of Maki. Toka's initial interest in learning more quickly fades when Fukami mentions it would only take 30 minutes to explain the full details. The surprises continue when Haruto Aoi reveals his own connection to Taiga, immediately questioning how she managed to convince her family to agree to this transfer. Taiga's response is cryptic yet formal. "I look forward to your services again." This prompts Fukami Reina, startled at not being the only one with a prior connection to Taiga, to probe further about their relationship. Haruto's explanation is unexpectedly mundane. He was once responsible for giving Taiga piggyback rides when she got fussy, taking her around the garden. He compares his role then to that of a sword handler, quickly adding that his current position at the academy prevents him from providing such personal attention to everyone. Taiga, however, is quick to establish boundaries. She firmly states that she didn't transfer to Class A expecting special treatment or babysitting, requesting to be treated like any other student. Haruto's response, that she can't be treated like the others either, leaves the classroom in stunned silence. Later in Haruto's office, he makes a significant decision, appointing Christina as Taiga's superior officer. His instructions to Taiga are absolute and severe. She must obey her superior's orders without question, whether those orders are to live or die. After Taiga's departure, Chris reveals her deep concerns to Haruto, expressing fear about her ability to protect Taiga adequately. Haruto's encouragement seems to steady her resolve, and she makes a solemn promise to keep Taiga safe. During a training exercise, Christina supervises as the girls select from a collection of boxes laid out before them. Everyone except Taiga makes a choice. As the coordinator, Chris instructs them to gather their gifts before she triggers the bomb's detonation. Her lesson is clear. Preconceptions can be fatal in their line of work. The tension of the exercise dissolves into a shared meal afterward, where the girls praise Chris's cooking skills, noting how even their master commends her talents. Later at the shooting range, Toga focuses intently on target practice. Chris and Taiga observe from the sidelines, with Chris explaining to Taiga the duality of Toga's nature, strict on the outside but kind-hearted within. Their conversation draws Toga's irritation, who snaps at them for distracting Megumi's training. The scene shifts to another training session, this time led by Murasaki. Chris notes Murasaki's natural talent for working with children. Meanwhile, Taiga practices diligently, her face lighting up with genuine excitement when she successfully hits her target. Night brings darker moments for Taiga. In her dreams, her father's words echo relentlessly, harsh reminders about her mother's weakness and stern warnings not to follow the same path. She wakes to find Chris by her side, offering comfort. Chris wraps her in a protective embrace, assuring her that everything will be fine. Though Taiga appreciates the gesture, it feels foreign to her, a kind of physical affection she never experienced from her own mother. At the shooting range, Izumi observes Reina's improved marksmanship before noticing Taiga with her. When questioned, Reina explains that as a class member, Taiga needs firearm training. Izumi remarks grimly about a world where children carry guns. Reina offers Taiga her weapon, revealing its history. It belonged to someone who protected their master, found empty after their death. "Those who kill with guns die by guns," she says, hoping her own weapon will be bulletless when her time comes. Unsettled, Taiga requests Chris's gun instead. Izumi produces Chris's untouched weapon, noting Taiga's small hands limit her options. When Taiga struggles with accuracy, Reina advises her to build inner strength first to avoid straining her body. Taiga takes this to heart. Determined, Taiga begins intense training. Chris attempts to stop her overexertion, but Taiga insists on matching her classmates' 5 rounds. Overhearing this, Haruto advises Chris to praise Taiga's successes and bring disciplinary issues to him. When Chris comments on his fatherly role to Taiga, Haruto reminds her to mind her own well-being too. Taiga persists through rain, completing her rounds but exhausting herself. Chris carries her home piggyback, their conversation ending when Taiga drifts to sleep. In Haruto's office, a conversation unfolds between him and Chris. Haruto expresses concern about Chris taking on too many responsibilities, but she assures him these are tasks she's chosen willingly. Her voice softens as she explains how these efforts have made a difference, especially for Taiga, who has finally found somewhere she belongs. Chris shares her recent activities, attending lectures at Kitaoka Medical University to qualify as a paramedic. This news brings relief to Haruto, who sees the long-term benefit. Taiga can eventually assist Chris, strengthening their team's medical support. Their discussion is interrupted by an urgent call from Nogami, instructing Haruto to turn on the TV immediately. The news shows breaking coverage. An explosion has rocked Kitaoka Medical University, with smoke billowing from an unknown source. Chris's face pales as a terrible realization hits her. Taiga could be in danger. The episode ends with this chilling possibility hanging in the air. Could Taiga have been caught in the explosion? Stay tuned for the next episode to discover her fate.